Hello YouTube. It's going to be another review of some back to the decent gear now, Maxpedition. But I have this as decent gear because this is my new first aid kit setup. I have got this loaded out to the max at the minute, just to show what you can fit in it. I mean, different trips will probably require different things. This is for home at the minute. So this is all the first aid for the house. And then there's some extra travel things in here that I've just put in here. But I'll explain it as I'm going along. Also, chuck this in your car nice and easy as a car first aid kit. This is just to show you everything in here, what you can fit. So first of all, I've got this Velcro patch. I've finally found a use for a Velcro patch on a Maxpedition because it's not clearly identified as being first aid with the cross. I brought one of these and stuck it on the front just so, you know, if you have it in your own car when you're away or something like that, and you crash and you need someone else needs to use your kit, then they're going to know that's the first aid kit. Right, so first off, there's a flap here which I've folded into this net pocket because the way I've got this stuffed out at the minute, no way I was fitting anything into that net pocket. Then in this little front zip up pocket, now this stuff is actually easier to get out when the bag's open, but I'll try. I've got a list of all the tablets I've got in here and anything with a sell by date basically. So that's all the sell by dates, and I can go through and check that before any sort of trip and swap it out if it's out of date. There's some helpful first aid instructions for CPR and stuff like that. Yeah, that's it in that front pocket at the minute. In this rear flap now, I've cut away, there was some very annoying belt loops on here, Velcro belt loops. I've actually kept them so I could sew them to something else in the future, or sew back onto this if I wanted to. There's no way I'm ever carrying this beast on my belt. Not a chance in hell, so I've just cut them away. And then right in the back here, yeah, they're hard to get to at the minute, but like I say, if you open the bag, it actually loosens it up a bit. I've got 2 sets of sterile latex gloves. So before you enter the bag, before you try to sort any sorts of cuts out, any, you know, whatever, you put them gloves on to make sure wounds stay clean. Then the bag very nicely clamshell opens all the way around. Now before I used to use my Webtex trauma pouch. Webtex trauma pouch is great, but you cannot access items in there very easily. You have to pull stuff out. I wanted this Neatfreak. Oh yeah, this is the Maxpedition Neatfreak Organiser, by the way, sorry. Should be in the title anyway, but I wanted this so I could just get to everything as and when, straight away. Didn't have to piss about. If I needed this, I'd go there. You know what I mean. Right, so then in the top straight away, if you don't want to use the gloves, or if you want to make them sanitised further, I've got hand sanitizer gel that won't focus. Sanitizer gel, straightforward what that is. So that's in there straight away to clean yourself up. Then I've got a foil blanket to hand. Treats shock. Things of that nature. Then the bag opens up. I've got, like I said, I've got it loaded out. So I've got all gear in there. Then the back I've got gear. Now in the middle of these Neatfreak organisers, there is a dividing panel. And in this dividing panel, I haven't set the light up very well. I'm trying to do better lighting, but yeah, in this dividing panel velcros into the bottom of the bag. So you can rip your dividing panel out and get to this stuff. I mean, you can get to all this stuff easy without ripping the dividing panel out, but you can see that's a lot thinner now. So I think I'll go through the dividing panel quickly first. In there, I've got some medical shears, cutting bandages, things like that. I've got some afterbite for insect bites. I've got some spray on TCP, which if there's any Americans watching this, TCP is an antiseptic. Now I've got some more TCP in here for blotting onto, so some more antiseptic for blotting onto cotton wool balls, stuff like that, for cleaning bigger cuts. This is to spray onto grazes, small cuts, things like that, where you just want to spray it, plaster it, job done. Then I've got some of these throwaway thermometers, obviously for the baby that we've now got, Bodhi. Then there's a digital thermometer there at the back, digital thermometer. This is a tick removal tool for removing ticks, obviously. And then there's the instructions on how to use the tick removal tool. Luckily I've never had to use that yet, and I hope I never have to, with alcohol pads for that. Then what I've done is added 2 of these Maxpedition 6x4 pouches to this hook and loop Velcro in the divider. So the ones I've put right at the top of the divider is this pouch, so you can open the bag and just unzip this pouch straight away, get to your tablets. So in here I've got various tablets. The back here, and they're all labelled clearly in these nice strong bags with exactly what they are, in case you should have to hand this over to a doctor like that. So we've got Travel Calm, cold and flu Lemsip tablets, Valium, aspirin, ibuprofen and paracetamol. So this is like a painkiller section. Yeah, Valium, some beta blockers in there as well, which are good for heart attack people. Then we've got some Loperamide anti-diarrhea. We've got some antacids. We've got some Resolve upset stomachs. We've got some Go electrolyte powder. We've got some Aquaclear purifying tablets. We've got amoxicillin antibiotics, a course of them. Antihistamines, electrolyte powders. Whole load of them, because obviously when you get diarrhea and that in foreign countries. Yeah, so there's loads of them electrolyte powders for diarrhea, stuff like that. So yeah, you've got plenty of tablets there, all in this nice 7x4 Maxpedition pouch that sits nicely on the top of the Velcro divider there, so you can access that straight away. Shoes have fallen out. Next up, we've got another pouch down the bottom here, which is mainly wound dressings. We've got cotton wool, sterile cotton wool for immediate wound attention. We've got some wound dressing. In here we've got plasters and alcohol-free wipes, all types of different plasters. We've got, here is a burns pack with burn gel. These burn patches, which are basically cold patches, you put them on a burn and they stay cold. I mean, I can put my hand in there now and feel that they're cold. When the air gets to them, they run out a bit. So they both fit down into these elasticated holders there, which is handy. And then the back here, I've got large wound dressings. You know, like wound pads, stuff like that, big ones for big cuts. I've got some surgical blades in here. I've got stitches. Now, I've never had to do stitches. I've watched videos on it. Hopefully I could do it if I had to, but I'd rather a doctor did. But yeah, there's all sorts of different sizes of stitching in there. Different needles for the stitches. They're all sealed and sterile. And then there's also butterfly stitches, which I'd be much more comfortable doing if I had to do any at all. But who knows? They're the sort of things I would take everywhere. This divider panel, stuff in this divider panel would not leave this first aid kit. You know, you'd want that everywhere, because really you'd want to take that bush grafting as well. So if I was going for a long weekend, I might just chuck those two in my pack, those two, bang bang. Right, so then to the front of the pouch, oh, I just love it. It's so organised. Like I say, not everything in here is going to go everywhere with you. You can swap stuff out. I've just put it in here so you can see what it's capable of. So in here, first up, on the key keeper, which I've actually used for a change, and it's quite helpful, I've got a Swiss Army knife with various tools on it to help you. I've got some silver gripper tweezers, obvious what they're for. I've got a torch for rummaging around the bag in. Okay, then next up in this back slip pocket, I've got, this is more for the home I suppose, or if you knew you were definitely doing some sort of sporting activity where you're going to spray something, but it's handy anywhere. Basically this is one of these cold relief, an instant ice pack. Then in the back here we've got an anaconda splint, which is a piece of material you can put around, bandage to your arm and use it as a splint. Basically it's really pliable material. So that's that big slip pocket sorted. Then in here this is everything in here is quick access. All you got to do is unzip it, you get to whatever you want. You got to know where it is. So before you go on your trip, you want to quickly look through your bag and check you know where everything is in your kit. I've got an Israeli trauma bandage for major hemorrhaging. Then I've got some quick clot again for major hemorrhaging. That's it in there. That's it in there. Then I've got some sodium chloride eye wash. Now this can also be used for irrigating wounds. So I've got a small syringe where you could draw that out and irrigate a wound. It flushes all the dirt. So if you had a big wound here, you'd hold it in this end, spray in the sodium chloride, and it would clean any unwanted foreign particles out. But you know, it's obviously also for an eye wash. Then you've got these excellent little oh, this light is poor. Then you've got these excellent little Velcro things here, so you can flip one up at a time, and they reveal pockets, some pockets. Okay, so then in the top pocket I've got Vaseline. In the next pocket down I've got some Gillette razor blades. Then in these two I've got a Vicks inhaler for nasal congestion. I've got lip seal for chapped lips. Can also be used as a sunblock, I think, that one. And then in here I've got hydrocortisone cream for bites and stings. So this is all for my foreign travel, but you obviously get bites and stings over here. Right, now we move round to the back section of the pack. Sudocrem, mainly for the baby. TCP, antiseptic liquid, a whole bottle of that, because if you've got a cut you need to keep dressing, you want that with you. Germaline, again an anaesthetic to numb the pain, so that's for different things. We've got Thai rubbing alcohol for, this is a bit more, I say Thai rubbing alcohol because I brought it in Thailand. I've used this on quite a big wound I had to treat once, and keep retreating, and that thing kills any germs. It's a bit stronger than the TCP really, but it's, you know, you can imagine what that's for. So then we get into this back pocket here. There's a little slip pouch behind there where I've got nothing in. I just love the format of this bag, you know, for what I wanted it for. It's excellent, so I can just get to all of this stuff whenever I want it. If you open it up, you need to wash your eye out, clean there. Wound dressings, remember, are in this slip, in this divider which goes in here. So you've got your wound dressings, then you've got all your ointments for your dressings. Then in the back here we've got this little Velcro tab that goes here. Then we've got the bandage bag, various sizes of bandages in there. Yeah, so these are all different size bandages in here. Obviously for bandaging up, spraying, stuff like that can be used in conjunction. Now this stuff I've got here, the last thing, wouldn't come with me. I mean, I've got it in here for demonstration today, but to be honest, I wouldn't generally have this in the house. This would come when I'm backpacking in foreign countries where I do not trust their medical facilities and supplies, basically. So, you know, if something happened to someone I'm with, which has before, and they've had to have injections, stitches, anything like that, and you think, oh, I don't know if I trust what they're using in here, you take this little pack around, which isn't a lot, and in an emergency you could attempt to use this stuff yourself. I mean, I wouldn't want to, but you could set up some sort of IV to get water into an unconscious person, something like that. You'd have to do your research on it, but you know, be better than someone dying, wouldn't it? So anyway, we've got this IV set here, but this is generally to hand over to foreign doctors. Can you use this, please? I know it's sterile, I know it's clean, so you don't infect whoever you're with whatever sort of disease from, yeah, you get it. So that's an IV set. Then in here, we've got all the different sizes of syringe and needles, literally every type. These ones are for drawing blood. These are just general syringes and needles for giving injections. And then this stuff here, this stuff in here is called, what is that called? Prep, Chloroprep. Now that is just for, so I mean, to be honest, this is no good with anything I've got in here, because you're not going to be injecting TCP or anything into anyone, but there's everything in here. Like this Chloroprep is what you put around an injection before you do the injection, and it goes down a certain amount of layers into the skin and makes sure that that area is then clean from any foreign bodies getting into when they do an intravenous thing or anything like that. I'm not claiming to be a doctor here or anything like that. It's just little bits of research I've done myself and seen myself and stuff like that. So yeah, you add a few of them in there so they don't go using whatever they're going to use, so you know they're definitely sound. So like I say, this wouldn't generally be in here all the time. This is for foreign journeys, but I just wanted to show you the capacity. But you can see that all fits in there happily. I mean, yeah, the back of it does come out, but for me this is a must, as I'm sure most of you agree, to take on you foreign trips, keep in your house, long car journeys, anything like that. But you've seen survival kits if you've seen any of my other, you've seen medical kits if you've seen any of my other videos that I take, small first aid kits just for myself, for burns, wounds, stuff like that. But this is the all-rounder, this is the bad boy, and I wanted it in a decent pack because obviously this is life-saving kit. This bag is the nuts. I'd like to use it for other things as well when I'm not using it for this, but to be honest, it's a bit of a man bag, this one again. But for a first aid kit, I've not seen it used as a first aid kit on any YouTube videos. For me, perfect. I just love the way you can open it. You know where everything is. I've taken a lot of it out now, but you want to quickly wash your eyes, don't you? You don't want to... Now, when I had it in the trauma pack is more for stuffing stuff like this in. Big dressings that you pull out, for soldiers and that are dealing with gunshot wounds. Don't get me wrong, I do like the trauma pouch. I'm now going to use it, the Webtex trauma pouch that is, I'm now going to use it as my mozzie protection thing, because obviously we've got the baby now, we have to carry a lot more mozzie protection, nets, baby repellent, stuff like that. But yeah, got a trip in July, so this is all going to be coming with me without question. People might think I'm being over the top here, but health is important, and I've had things happen on numerous holidays, learnt my lessons with various things like labelling up, having enough British medicine that I know I can rely on, because some of the stuff you get that's made in places like Cambodia, for instance, or the arse end of Sri Lanka doesn't always do the trick, because we're used to stronger things over here, I suppose. But yeah, highly recommend this Neatfreak Organiser as a decent bag. That's my first aid kit reviewed. Got some extra items and stuff in there. Like I say, things like this, I don't know if I'd be carrying this around everywhere, but I will be taking this on our trip in July with me, because I can fit it, and a lot of it's going to be on a car journey through Thailand, or in Thailand I should say. But I want all this gear with me, Prepare for the worst, but expect the best. I'll leave you with that little note. Right, cheers YouTube, thanks for watching, see you later.